So my ex gave me an STD 2 years ago, and I feel like a lot of people's first reactions are like, ew, that's disgusting. Like, why are you putting this on the internet? Blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I feel like people should be talking about it more. That way people can learn from it and educate themselves and stuff. Because I don't know, he cheated, obviously. And, that's literally how I found out when the doctor called me and she was like, oh, yeah, you have it. And I was like, oh, okay. So then, like, that's how I knew. But it sucks because a lot of these men will basically sleep around with literally whoever, anything with a hole, and then it comes back to you. And then you're like, oh, I don't know how I got it. And then the man tries to gaslight you, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Just make sure you are getting checked after every person. Even if you're in a stable relationship and you think your man is the most perfect man in the world, go get checked like every couple months because you don't know what the fuck he is doing.
I'm just about to get right into it. I always say that you don't feel like this for you, then hey, go to God about it. But I know that this is a word that God has given me that I have sat on for about 3 days. So, the other day I was on my knees and I literally just heard STD. It was so weird. Like, I literally just heard STD, and I'm like, God, you talking about me being having STD for real? And he was like, STD. He just kept saying STD. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, guys. So you're going to have to really get into detail with me because now I'm having fear. He said, aha, you do got STD. I said, how I got STD? And so he said you got a spiritual transmitted disease. Fear is an STD. Fear is a disease. Fear is a disease. Anxiety is a disease. Lust is a disease. Masturbation is a disease. Lack is a disease. Laziness is a disease. All of these things are diseases. And I'm like, okay, God, but you only could get an STD if you let somebody enter you. He said, yes, yes, yes. You getting me now, Jasmine? You've allowed a lot of people into your life. You've allowed a lot of people that were contaminated and gave you the contamination of what they had. So now you're trying to wonder why I felt that. Now you're trying to wonder why you can't pray as much. You can't even get on a fast for 24 hours. You're trying to wonder why you can't even get in your word. Who have you been surrounding yourself with, or what have you been connected to that is allowing you to keep you away from me? Woo, that's deep. What have you been connected to or been allowing in your circle or been allowing in your spirit that is keeping you away from God, that is giving you a spiritual transmitted disease where you cannot move forward, where you feel stuck. You can't get to where you're trying to get to because there's so much in you, so much nastiness, so much sickness in your spirit that you can't even move forward. See, he said, we sick in the spirit. That's the problem. We so sick in the spirit, and that's why we can't maneuver or move how we need to. But it's time for your deliverance. It is time to be set free. I remember a pastor once said that it's time to go to the hospital and get your medicine. The hospital is the church. The hospital is being in your word. The hospital is now keeping yourself away from the contamination. It is now pleading to God and praying to God and telling God, okay, God, I don't want to deal with this anymore. It is now acknowledging that I am sick in the spirit. It is not saying, God, I am sick in the spirit, God. God, I do got this disease, and I want this disease to leave. I want the disease of fear to leave. I want the disease of lack to leave. I want the disease of procrastination to leave. I want the disease of pornography to leave. I want the disease of fear to leave. I want these diseases to leave. And it's time to acknowledge that we are sick in the spirit, which is why we can't move how we need to. Get in your word. Do what you need to do. Matthew 5:6. Let's go.
Some people will know they have an STD and purposely sleep with you unprotected so that you catch it too. I deal with men, so I will be talking about men, but fellas, y'all need to be looking out too. When you and your man take a break, he is 100% hunching on someone else. If you have a man that's not really your man, aka a sneaky link or a situationship, he is 100% hunching on someone else. If your man, your baby daddy, or your husband has ever had an affair, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that they were raw dogging. I have a friend that's a 304, and 95% of her clients are married men, and they all try to pay for extra to slide in with no protection. And do you know how many men she sees in a day? And they don't care. If a man has ever tried to spin the block on you or is just overly persistent or extremely thirsty, he might be trying to set you up, sis. And they do this to trap you. so that nobody else will want you. But you can literally catch an incurable disease that can unalive you. People literally playing with your life. So y'all need to start asking for paperwork. I don't even think that's enough. I think you need to go together to go get tested, because it's very rare for a man to get tested.
So if you're a woman and you're still dating, one of the ways, and to me this is the number one top way to be able to tell if a man is serious about you, is whatever date it is, the second date, the third date, the fourth date, whatever date it is that you decide you're going to be intimate with this man, say, I think our next date should be us going to get STD or STI tested together, okay? And see their reaction, and also see if they actually go through with it. Do not rely on men's paper results, because there are men out here faking these results. They have sisters, cousins, whoever, themselves even, that are making and creating these fake documents to show negative STI panels. So don't fall for that. Also, you have to think, if a man is willing to go that far, he's definitely hiding something, because why not just go get tested unless you already know or feel as though you have something? Guys can go years, decades without getting tested. A lot of times they don't have symptoms. Many of them rely on their wife or girlfriend to determine if they have a STI or not, which is so stupid, because I personally had a friend who was married and was cheating on her husband, and she ended up with a disease, and she never told him. She just stopped putting out for a few weeks. And then, I don't know if he ever caught it or not. I never found out. But I'm just saying, you can't always go off of that, because that's stupid, right? But this is what a lot of guys do. So, make it to where y'all will make this appointment. You're going to get your full panel, okay? All 4 H's. There's 4, I think. HIV, HPV, hepatitis, and herpes, right? And then chlamydia, gonorrhea, trick, if I'm missing something, whatever. The full panel, okay? Full. And make it to where you talk to the doctor or the practitioner and you say, we're going to come back and get our results together, and it's okay for me, for you to give this information in front of this person. And you guys need to be sitting side by side and get those results together. Now, I can assure you that 99 to almost 100% of men are not going to agree to this, okay? If you want to know if they're serious about you, they will do it, even if they're terrified of the results. They may really like you, but they ain't that serious about you because they're not willing to go through with it. Most of the guys, I can assure you, you're not going to ever hear from them again. You won't. But even if you did, the guys are typically going to make excuses if they agree to it when the time comes. I had to take my mom to Bible study, or I had to work late, or whatever. They'll come up with excuses, right? But to me, this is the number one way that you're going to know. I also want to segue into the second part of this, that most men typically are not going to agree to this because they either know for a fact that they have a disease, or they believe they do because they know what they've been out here doing. They know all the stuff that they've been doing, and they're terrified of that, and they don't want to know, okay? So most of them are not going to do it. But even if a guy goes, and let's say his entire panel comes back negative, everything is good. I'll tell you the difference between the way men think and the way women think when it comes to this. So guys will say, oh, my test results are good, right? I don't have to use a condom because I don't have anything, baby. You ain't got nothing to worry about, right? Women, on the other hand, are like, my test results are good and I want to keep it that way, so I'm going to make guys use condoms. I want y'all to think about this, because most men don't want to use condoms anyway. We know this. Most of them don't. They don't see the point. It defeats the purpose. It takes away the feeling or whatever. All right, there's some unicorn guys out there that's going to strap up with every female they get with. Yes, well, we know that they are in like the low 2 or 3 percentile or whatever. Most men do not want to use condoms, okay? And they're not going to if you allow them not to. It just is what it is. So their typical mindset is, I'm clean. I don't have to use a condom. Why? Because they're stupid. They're uneducated and they're dumb AF, right? Women are like, and I'm saying generally because there are exceptions to this on the women's side as well, generally women are saying, oh my God, everything came back good, I want to keep it that way. So you have to, I don't care what your test results are, you're strapping up, right? That's the difference between the way men and women think. In this case, women are the more logical. I'm just saying, right? So this is how you will find out if a man is serious about you. You're going to be disappointed because most of them are not going to agree to this. They'll agree to it, but then when the time comes, they won't follow through. So I'm just saying. And the ones that do are still going to be, they look at it, clean test results as, now I can go out and do what I want because I'm clean and you ain't got nothing to worry about. They'll sit there and let's say they will have smecks with 3 different women unprotected, not knowing if any one of those women have something that their boyfriends or baby daddies gave them or whoever. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they're lying saying they're clean and you're not. You don't know if you are because you just ran through 4 different women in the last month, right? This is how they think, and this is why women, you have to protect yourselves. You have to think for yourselves, right? Me being out of the dating, pissy dating pool, I typically just don't really have to worry about this stuff anymore, and it feels damn good. But if you are still in it, okay, this is what you need to do if you care about yourself enough, okay? But I want people to really stop and think about that, because this is a conversation that people don't want to have. People don't like talking about this stuff, but y'all know me. I specialize in saying the quiet parts out loud. I can have a conversation about anything. I don't give a damn, right? Because the point is to get people to think outside the box, right? So let me know what you guys think. Have you asked a guy to go to the clinic with you and they didn't? Whatever. What was your experience? Leave your comments below. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Men use sex for validation rather than intimacy, and I don't think it's talked about enough. There are different ways that we can artificially trigger our reward system in our mind via the hormone of dopamine, and that is through food, sex, scrolling on social media, corn. And really what this does is it trains our mind to believe that we have achieved something. And this is part of the reason why they work so hard, so that they can increase their options. When a man is experiencing a lot of resistance, maybe delayed gratification on whatever it is he's trying to achieve, a lot of times what he'll do is he'll ask you for more sex. And this is where we get into spiritual STIs, where now he's transferring that energy into you. Have you ever noticed that you've had a lot of willpower, creativity, determination, all of those beautiful things, and then you lay down with someone? Then all of a sudden you get up feeling like you just have no willpower and you don't want to do anything? It was an energy transfer. I feel like on a subconscious level they know this, but using a woman to manifest is definitely a thing. Now, I be lurking in the red pill community. I've been around the way, and they practice something called semen retention, where they actually don't, and it helps them increase their creative energy. So they're able to channel their life force energy into their goals rather than, I can't say anything on TikTok. Really, for anyone, a really good practice is called a dopamine fast. A dopamine fast is basically where you fast from anything that triggers your dopamine response. So you fast from music, you fast from sex, you fast from food, you fast from social media. And I know it sounds intense, but really what this does is it resets your reward system, so that doing the things that you want to do and that you need to do becomes more rewarding. This video was all over the place. I can talk more about.
Some people will know they have an STD and purposely sleep with you unprotected so that you catch it too. I deal with men, so I will be talking about men, but fellas, y'all need to be looking out too. When you and your man take a break, he is 100% hunching on someone else. If you have a man that's not really your man, aka a sneaky link or a situationship, he is 100% hunching on someone else. If your man, your baby daddy, or your husband has ever had an affair, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that they were raw dogging. I have a friend that's a 304, and 95% of her clients are married men, and they all try to pay for extra to slide in with no protection. And do you know how many men she sees in a day? And they don't care. If a man has ever tried to spin the block on you, or is just overly persistent or extremely thirsty, he might be trying to set you up, sis. And they do this to trap you so that nobody else will want you. But you can literally catch an incurable disease that can unalive you. people literally playing with your life. So y'all need to start asking for paperwork. I don't even think that's enough. I think you need to go together to go get tested, because it's very rare for a man to get tested.
Want to know if your man has an STD? Let's get into it. First things first, honey, if he's pre-coming way before y'all get started in the bed, then guess what? Run! It may be an STD. If he's excessively scratching down there, there's no gold down there, honey. Run! There may be an STD. If he continuously goes to the restroom, back and forth, honey, run! It may be an STD. Honey, if he can't tell you the last time he had an STD test with results that you can see, run! He may have an STD. If he's burning or hurting down there, down there, run! He may have an STD. Honey, if you see sores, bumps, and blisters down there and you know he doesn't shave and wax, run! He may have an STD. Listen, it's all fun and games until you get that text or that call that you may have an STD. So guess what? Get tested. Know your status.
3 STDs that condoms will not protect you from. They may reduce your chances, but these STDs are through skin-to-skin contact: herpes, HPV, and syphilis.
My boyfriend gave me an STI. I've been with my boyfriend for 7 months, and this is so embarrassing. This is my second time having an STI during our relationship. I haven't been with anyone except him, so it must be coming from him. I'm so scared to bring it up to him, but I think he's cheating on me. What should I do?
Tell the man that, listen, I've got an STI. I think it's from you because I haven't been seeing anyone else. Are you cheating on me?
I say this with love. It's not a question of whether he's cheating on you. He
is
cheating on you. And besides the fact that he's cheating on you, that is dangerous for your health. The fact that he's doing that, and it could have been unresolved for such a long time. It's a health hazard.
Plus it being the second time as well.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
That is very crazy.
That's very crazy. 100%.
You have nothing to be scared or embarrassed about. He should be very embarrassed.
If you ask a man to get tested and his response is anything other than yes, of course, sure, or no problem, proceed with caution. Matter of fact, don't proceed at all. I'm telling you, there are seriously men out here that do not go to doctors or get physicals in years. They'll make every excuse as to why not. They don't trust doctors, their testings aren't accurate, they go to holistic doctors instead, they're completely clean and fine. Excuses. Do not trust even if he says he has been tested recently, but for some reason can't come up with the actual proof of it. He's hiding something and he is lying to you. In a perfect world, as a woman, before you sleep with any man you're dating, you would ask him to get tested first. But sometimes life happens and you don't, and that's okay, as long as you always wear condoms. But here's the issue with that. You can't trust them. And I know a lot of women that have shared their stories of men who took it off, who poked holes, who claim they put it on but they didn't put it on. You have to understand that men do not care about you. I'm sorry, it's the truth. If you are casually dating, understand that these men do not care about you. And if a man did have something and you happen to be casually dating him, do you really think he would care about protecting you? There are a gazillion articles of men who end up going to jail for spreading on purpose diseases that cannot be cured, if you know what I'm talking about. They do not care about you, and if he were to have something, he does not give a lick about you getting it and ruining your life. The second you give it up to him, he got exactly what he wanted. Whatever happens to you after the fact is not his concern, business, or his care. And he'll just do what every other man always does. Deny, and blame you for it. Wasn't me, it was you. Same way a man can make a baby with you and then disappear and not care about the well-being of you or that child, it's the same thing when it comes to diseases. So yeah, like I said, if you were to ask a man to get tested, which you should always do, and his answer is not yes and does not provide you proof within a week, please walk away. That man has something, he is hiding something, and he does not care about you.
I can't believe people still don't realize this, but let's have a chat about condoms. Condoms are fabulous. We love them. Internal, external, wonderful. However, they don't protect against all STIs. Using a condom doesn't mean that you're not going to get an STI. The only 100% effective way to prevent STI transmission is through not having partnered shenanigans, we'll say. Condoms only cover a certain area, and so there's still more skin exposed. So through STIs that are transmitted via skin-to-skin contact, herpes is the example I like to use, a condom will help reduce the chances of transmission, but they're still skin exposed. Just your friendly health educator PSA, you can still get an STI if you use condoms. And if you're wondering if people still don't know this, there are people that still don't know this because I just had someone try to tell me otherwise. And this is why we need health educators. So if you learn something from this,